Hello, hello, I'm Bruce Owen and I'm married to Cathy Owen.
I'm Cathy.
And we have been married this summer. Will be 34 years and we dated a little over 2 years, so we know a little bit about each other.
We have 3 children, all grown and married, and 2 grandchildren, and loving being grandparents.
Brad has asked us to talk about communication, and I think that's one of the most important subjects in a marriage. One of the things that I have had a weakness in is being a good listener. One of the things I've observed over the many years is that one of the partners usually does more talking than the other one. And in our case, I'm the one that does most of the talking.
Well, I come at communication from a point of weakness. Like Bruce said, I am a good listener, and for a lot of our marriage, the first part of our marriage, I did a lot of listening and he did a lot of talking, and I really thought that that was good communication and that I was being a good wife to be a good listener. But we read The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and in it he talked about someone like me being like the Dead Sea, where water flows in but it never flows out, and so it becomes stagnant. And so I realized that what was happening is Bruce was really sharing his life with me, but I wasn't sharing my life with him. We really started practicing. He would ask me specifically what happened during the day, and I would begin to try to share. And a lot of times it was hard. It was hard for me to even think of what I wanted to talk about. But as we practiced, I think I got better at it and began to share with him about my day.
When I think of communication, though, I think of an umbrella. If I had an umbrella, it would be titled communication. And under the umbrella, under each of those spokes, there would be 3 areas that I've observed that I feel like most couples struggle with, are the areas of sex and finances and parenting. Those are the 3 biggies from what I've seen. I know Cathy and I have really had to do some communication on all 3 of those. And if it's, sometimes you want to shun away from sex. Oh, let's don't talk about sex. I think you need to pray about sex. I think you need to talk about what you like. I think you need to talk about how many times a week or a month or whatever you do. I think it's important to communicate that. Finances are the number one reason I think couples get a divorce. One of the things we've been doing the last few years, I wish we'd started it 30-something years ago, is we meet monthly, at least monthly, and look at our finances. I'm not talking about a line-by-line budget. I'm talking about how much money do we have now, how much is it going to cost us to get through the rest of the month. And that way, if we decide, okay, I want to buy some golf shoes, or we want to go on a special trip or whatever, then we agree to that. If one of us disagrees to that, we do not purchase that item. It's just that simple. And then the third area is in parenting. We come from different backgrounds. We were raised different. We had lots of communication on how we're going to raise our children, how we're going to discipline our children, and we always need a united front. So we had to get behind closed doors a lot of times and talk about those issues and work them out.
So when you talk about the big things that Bruce was mentioning, like finances, sex, and raising children, those things are connected to a lot of feelings, a lot of emotion. And I know that when we talk about those things, probably it's going to raise some conflicts and some confusion and some misunderstandings. But at the same time, I'm thinking that's not really what I meant to say, or how I meant to say it, or that doesn't really truly reflect what I'm trying to say. But then it was out there, and then we had to deal with it and talk about it. And sometimes that required hurt feelings, arguing. Sometimes we pulled all-nighters talking things out and trying to come to a place where we both understood and could come to an agreement about an area.
Sometimes I think there's areas where you so miss each other in communicating that you just simply need to say, hey, honey, this is what I think you said. Is that correct? And kind of talk to each other about that and make sure. There've been times where I've been so aggravated at Cathy and I just kind of like judged her motives, and come to find out once we hashed it out and got in there and talked about it that, hey, that's not what she meant at all. And I was able to see her heart and know that I was way off, and really it comes down to me trying to judge what her motives, and that was wrong. Good communication takes effort, but I can guarantee you this, it's worth it. And I encourage you with all that I have to get in there and commit with your spouse to work to push in and have those that good communication, those good talks, until you really know what both of you are trying to say and understand and seek to know each other's heart.